What is going on, everyone? It is Foul Play here. We are back for match number 5 of this modern league, versing the Unagil and Obosh. Looks like maybe the Obosh Prowess deck. I don't think a Dried Arbor hand is what we want against one of them. Neither with the Spirit Dancer. Alright, on to a 4-card hand, and it's a pretty weak one, but better than mulliganing to 3. Alright, let's keep this and hope to draw life gain. That's a pretty good card. That's not life gain, but it is a good clock. Firebolt Face. Setting up for light up the stage with Mountain Lightning Bolt. Okay. Obviously, there's potential for things like Blood Moon here. We just fetch a basic. Also potential for like Blast Zone as well. But like mostly this line was pretty telegraphed without knowing those cards. Hey, look, we did it. Good team. Oh, it feels good. Alright, so interestingly enough, my opponent conceded to just Daybreak Coronet, which means that he probably didn't have Blast Zone in the main deck. Not sure like how much I like Flusterstorm. Maybe it's okay, maybe it's not. Probably don't want our core Spirit Dancers. And then it's between like Flusterstorm or Leyline of Sanctity, I'd say. Path seems really good in the matchup though. Alright, let's go something like that. So yeah, Spirit Dancers and a 3 Spirit Dancers, 1 Force and Negation out for the 4 Leyline. Should be mostly okay. Alright, so we have like a Dried Arbor hand here. It's a pretty good Dried Arbor hand, but it's also painful without life gain. And we don't have Totem Armor, and we're versing Burn. So we'll get rid of that one. Alright, this hand looks good though. We're going to keep this one. Bottom, the Dried Arbor. Hope to draw like a pain-free land here, hopefully. Hello, baby, and that lets us play around Blood Moon as well. Oh, yeah. The rich get richer. I'm definitely loving it. Alright, so like... we have 2 options here. We have like Staggering Insight, or we have Ethereal Armor, Curious Obsession. I'm going to go for Ethereal Armor plus Curious Obsession here. The reason for that being Kozilek's Return, which can be up by our opponent's next turn. So getting it for like 4 damage. Opponent concedes. Alright, well they've had enough. Obviously their Kozilek's Return got invalidated, and they didn't want to see any more. Yeah, like, there's... Normally they'd have a turn 2 play. Maybe they're holding up Stomp off the Bone Crusher Giant, but yeah. Yeah. Good times. We got the 3-2, guys. Let's go. Let's go. That's a good feeling. Alright, so what did I think about the deck list today here? So we need to make the very important clarification that blue Bogles or blue-white Bogles is not trying to be green-white Bogles. I've made the mistake in the past of trying to make it too similar to green-white, and it just doesn't really function at all. Blue-white wants to be its own thing. We got the card draw auras, we got the counter magic, and really the real reason to play this deck over a green version is because of the counter magic. Force of Negation is great. It lets us tap out for tempo on our turn, and then when our opponent goes to their big Haymaker on their turn, their Engineered Explosives, their Liliana of the Veil, their Khan, their Ugin, their Terminus, all that nonsense. We have Force of Negation. Boom. We don't lose our tempo because we've been attacking this whole time. We've been tapping out our mana the whole time. And yet we can still counter their Haymaker. So that is the reason to be running blue-white Bogles. The thing I really didn't like about this deck at all was it didn't have a plan at all for removing artifacts or enchantments. Obviously, we could run something like Disenchant. It's not like the most amazing effect, though. Another option is Echoing Truth or Brazen Borrow. I did actually have some Brazen Borrows in this deck the last time I played it, but I removed them because I really wanted to like test out Flusterstorm against the control matchup. And we did verse one control deck, but we didn't see Flusterstorm. Excuse me. Oh, I'm doing something there. Trying to relaunch my OBS here. We'll just cancel that. All right, so Dried Arbor in this deck list. I don't know if I liked it or not. It was pretty fragile, really. We did verse one Jund deck, and I guess we like tried to hold it up a few times, so that was fine. But outside of that Jund deck, it's pretty clunky, and there's absolutely no green auras to cast off of it. If you've got a Daybreak Coroner out, and you attack with the Dried Arbor, who's got other enchantments on it as well, and it's lived up until that point, you might be able to get Slippery Bogle value and play Slippery Bogle. That's pretty narrow, though. I don't think Dried Arbor's where the deck wants to be. So we can probably get rid of that and just add it in these Flooded Strands again. Which means we can get rid of these Misty Rainforests. And currently I'm running like 8 fetch lands in this deck list. I think that's too many. You probably want like 6 as the most, right? Darker Ataka Waste. Give me a sec. Alright, so the land I guess I'd suggest is Attica Wastes, as it taps for blue or white, and the it tapping for colorless is rarely gonna save you life. But like the real reason we've got this in here is so we don't get blown out against Leaden Arbiter, against these Death and Taxes or Hate Bear decks. And another reason I suppose is to not reduce our own lane count so low that we can't reliably hit 2 mana for a turn 2 Invisible Stalker. So what situation is this deck going to be good? It's going to be good in a slower meta game where a turn 2 creature isn't going to matter as much. And in a meta game where Force of Negation is going to be good, right? So the main thing I probably want to see for this deck, we can tune the sideboard, things like that. But when Modern Horizons 2 comes along, I want to see a blue-white Horizon land, and that'll actually bump the power level of this deck up ridiculously. We ditch these Horizon Canopies, we ditch these Attica Ways, straight out. Hey look, now we've got blue-white Horizon lands, which we can cycle if we get flooded. Like, I cannot stress that enough, that is really important. Also, it didn't come up in this league because I didn't board it in once, but Suppression Field and too many fetch lands is definitely a nombo. Right, so we ran 7 fetch lands, which is probably too many to be running with Suppression Field. You probably want to be running, 4 to 6 at the most. But yeah, overall, we returned our points. We got our entry back, all of that. So good league in my opinion. So yeah, that was the short video, guys. As always, let me know what you think down below in the comment section. I always love hearing from you guys. And yeah, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow for a full league.